Ben Simmons was moved all over the court defensively. He seemed like he was your chess piece tonight.
I mean, the plays that he can make from an athletic standpoint, the plays that he makes from a physical standpoint in that part of the game. We saw it last night. You saw it tonight. Is just elite. You know, you hear me sort of cheerlead the cause of him being on an NBA all-defensive team, and it's examples like that that to me make it a no-brainer.
Just in general tonight, why did you think you struggled to guard them?
You know what? I thought at the end of the second period, not getting back in transition. You know, we missed shots. People got over our heads. It came in bunches. I thought the way we ended the second period was disturbing. I think in general, I would grade our defensive performance a C minus up until the last 7 minutes of the game. But up until then, we had a hard time guarding them. You know, they picked on some of our young wings a lot. And I think that we were poor at times in transition defense. I will say that when we flipped the switch and came out and started to guard, that they were dominating. You know, they had 16 deflections in a fourth period. In coach speak, that's pretty impressive. But in general, I agree with you, Rich. We struggled to guard them for the large majority of the night.
Brett, Ben's finishing let him down tonight, but it was a sort of game where he got himself to the line a ton. Is that like, do you look at a game like that and go to him and say, this is the Ben Simmons we need every night and not just tonight?
You know how I have been on since we have brought him into the program. His finishing is still always on my mind, you know, and what he does. And we're not talking about dunks. It's that like little 3-foot thing that we're talking about, and he has to get better at it. That gather step where he's going one extra step or he's going one extra dribble and not being bumped off his driving line and, you know, more fading and more straight line through people, Giannis-like. I thought he was really good doing that tonight. And the 7 free throws that he shot, and he made them all. He looked confident doing that. I think there is progressive growth in that area, to your point of going body, ball, and inviting that physical sort of style to get way more free throws.
Brett, for Joel to go 15 for 15 from the foul line, and not just tonight. I think after he had the 0 for 3 night in Toronto, he had 14 attempts the next night, and I think he had 13 the night after that.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
It's a mentality. You know, that is a disposition, that is a mentality, to me, more than a stat. And the fact that we shot 40 free throws last night, what do you have, 36 tonight? I like both of those things. And you sure like them a lot more when you make them. But Joel Embiid, to your point, that is a statement, it is a mentality. And, you know, none of us can underestimate the hurt he felt after the Toronto game, where he felt like he let us down, and we have seen him respond.
Speaking of mentalities, with Tobias, do you feel like he's beginning to become more of a scorer's mentality every time he touches the ball? He's kind of going to become a little bit more of a scorer a little bit lately?
I think so, and I hope so, because that's what we have, you know, I have preached to you all, and certainly to him. I want him to find the rim. And scorer is a scorer. It's not J.J. Redick always. It's driving. It's like even the play we come down, and I could have called a timeout. We had a play, and we wanted to run a turnout and get Joe the ball, and we made a sloppy pass. You know, Tobias into Joe got stolen, but he came straight back out. Ben gets a steal. He's on, you know, a straight line drive and ends up with just a smart, strong finish. And whether it's a rise up, pull up long 2, a catch shot 3, something off, a catch, go catch to the rim, as I just explained, we need him to score. Like, I want him to think like a scorer, and I think that he is. I also think that he's improving tremendously defensively.
Ask on the defensive end, and not just tonight, but the past couple of weeks, what have you noticed how he's improved on the defensive side?
He's very prideful. You know, like I tell anybody to listen in the locker room, coaching staff, you don't just dust off scores. There has to be, to me, some level of paint. where you're not just like, it's okay, and trading basket mentality. That's not how I see the world. And I can see in his face, like, he wants to get better. He's a prideful person. I forget sometimes really how young he is. You know, a young 26 years old, think of his upside. Like, we all sort of look at him as, you know, he's arrived and here he is. By any standard, internationally, domestically, whatever, basketball-wise, he is just scratching the surface. And because he's got character and he is an athlete, that can point to defense. And I think that with him, I see that he cares. That's a hell of a starting point. And then he's got the other characteristics that I think can make him an elite defensive player.
Coach, you didn't have to say I apologize, but 2 wins in as many nights, but even more impressive the way you guys battled in each of those last 2 games. Is that even more impressive about the last 2 nights, what you guys did?
Well, it is, you know, so I look at that and I give that a A for Philly edge. I give it an A for Philly edge. The lead up, you know, whether it's in New York or here at home, I give a C. And, you know, we aspire come final exam time to have a really good grade. And right now there is a variance that I don't like. And some of it's just, it's 82 games, it's the nature of our league, but it doesn't mean I gotta like it. And so we strive to play defense on a more regular basis. We are the second best defensive team in the league, so I shouldn't be crying too much. But that's the bar. That's the standard that we have set for ourselves.
Take one more, guys. Talked about the young wings kind of struggling defensively and then taking advantage. How big was James down the stretch in that regard? You had him in there with the starters at the end.
Listen, James has been steady throughout. And for me, it's like I like him as kind of a solid player coming off the bench. But when you get down to like making a decision who's going to end the games, I got a decision to make. You look at Matisse or Ferk or James, and I think that James has been that person for me. I like him coming off the bench. There's another stable veteran mind that can shoot and guard. And we go with a wild card like Ferk to see what he can do at the start, surrounded by a pretty good starting 5. That's the reason I do it. How I end the game is the decision that I just said. James has been playing well. He was playing well tonight and was rewarded with the minutes that he closed the game out with.